Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're here for another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. As always, we have Mr. Kelly Cook with us. He left us on a cliffhanger last time, and it's been killing me. So welcome back, Kelly. We're so excited to hear the rest of the story.
Absolutely. No, great to be here, Elizabeth. And I'm glad to share it because there's a good value there. It's a good case study example.
Yeah, absolutely. So we last time kind of started talking about a really, really important subject right now, just to kind of refresh you guys on how to get your buyer's offer accepted on a house. I know that's probably one of the biggest, aside from just getting listings, that's probably one of the biggest struggles that agents are having right now is actually when they're working with buyers, actually getting buyers the house that they want, finding it, and then once they do find it, getting their offer accepted. So we wanted to kind of do a whole little series here, kind of diving into some strategies to make sure that doesn't happen to you, or some things that can help you overcome that. So last time Kelly was telling us about a listing that his buyers wanted. Everybody was prepared to go over asking price. We knew that there were some other offers on the table. So what did he do? What did they do to get their client the house? That's kind of where we're going to pick up now.
That's right. Okay. So number one, we'll cut to the chase, and yes, we got the house, right? So that's
Spoiler
the most
alert.
important thing. Yeah, spoiler alert, exactly, right? Because I know there's high D's out there who want to get right to the bottom. Boom, yep, you got it. So I gave it to you, but now you got to promise me you stick around to hopefully pick up a few tidbits here. Okay, so we had the open house go through. Everyone came to the open house in 2 hours. They shoveled everyone through. There was a stampede of people, and our buyer wanted the house. Now, so did several other buyers, right? So the first thing we did is obviously be very courteous to the agent during the open house and befriend them. I even went up and obviously had my client introduce himself to the agent as well, and fill him in on the sob story a little bit, right? About how we've been looking for a house for so long and we couldn't find one. This is the house. I know it. He knows it. We need to make this happen. And we're a great buyer because of X, Y, and Z, right? All these things to try to build rapport like you would for any other, sales endeavor you were doing. Then after the open house, shot him a text message. Hey, thanks so much for all your FaceTime. I know you had a lot of people to the open house, so to be able to spend 5-10 minutes with us really meant a lot to my client. He really appreciates that when we let you know. And then, and we're gonna tell him we're gonna make the offer. Then the most important thing to do at that point, Elizabeth, was find out, okay, how's this gonna go down? Right? What's the rules we got to play within now that they're going to create, the seller and the listing agent, in order to proceed to choose a buyer? And found out they're going to submit all offers, obviously, and review them. This is on a Saturday, review them by Monday morning. They need to be in by Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Perfect. Why is that important? Well, because I want to be the last offer in. That's why, right? Because if I am the first offer in, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 offers, then, and I ask him, hey, where do we stand? He truthfully, if he wants to tell me, can't even tell me because he doesn't even know, right? So you want to be the last in, ideally, in that situation without going, right up to the deadline. So we had many conversations throughout the day with my client. I also had a conversation again with the listing agent in the morning, just to, again, show him and demonstrate that we are very communicative. And if you choose us, we're going to continue to be that way to make a smooth transaction, right? And make sure this deal gets done. Okay, so we did that, and 4 o'clock comes around, a little after 4, and we called the agent up, and we asked him where we stand. Now, what's the response every agent always gives? It's always, I can't tell you that, right? Well, the reality is, and this is a very important note to note, that you need to point out, if you can, in a nice way without coming off, the wrong way or arrogant, because that's what you don't want to do, but you need to make sure they understand that if your job is your fiduciary to your client, correct? Yes, it is, right, as a seller. Well, if that's the case, wouldn't your fiduciary also include getting your client the most money? Yes.
I would think so.
Absolutely. So if in this example, it would behoove you to find out, to tell me, being probably the last offer you're going to get, where the other offer stands so that I come in higher than that. Wouldn't that be in your client's best interest so they can make more money? Because what if the highest offer is at 610? And so I don't know that. I have no clue, right? And so I just come in at 599. Well, yeah, you're still at 610, but what if I was willing to pay 625? Right? So as a listing agent, they should be asking questions as well, not just taking orders. And that's my personal opinion. So anyways, circle back to the buyer side here. I asked them all these questions. And of course, it's always like, well, I can't tell you that. And then what you need to do is ask open-ended questions. If they will not elaborate, then you got to try to ask close-ended questions within ranges. Here's what I mean by that. So where are your current offers at? How you, Kelly, I can't tell you that. Okay, I understand. You got to do, okay, I get it. Well, I mean, are we at least asking? Oh, yeah. We're very strong. We're way above asking. Like how far above asking, right? Well, I can't tell you that. Okay, I understand. I get it. Any cash? No cash, all financing. Okay. So like north of 620, right? I circle right back to it again. Distract yep. And circle back, right? And then eventually they're going to tell you a range that you have to kind of reasonably deduct to then educate and guess on where you need to be. So in this situation, I'll tell you what, they had an offer at 630. 635.
And the house was listed at 599 as a reminder, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
That's right. And we ended up going at 640. And we did there because guess what? We knew after asking so many questions to the agent and again, because I think he felt he could trust me, right? Building that rapport, that we knew we were going to win if we're at 640. Now, is that powerful or what? And is that now, did the agent ever tell us exactly, oh, this offer is at 630? No, we didn't find that specific number out until after the fact. But based upon the brackets that I asked questions around, I knew 640 would win the deal.
You did your research and came to a conclusion.
Yes. Correct. And here's the other thing too. Our client has a contingency. Whoa, Kelly, there's no way you got it for 640 if you had a contingency in this market.
To sell their house, right?
Correct. Yeah. Their house wasn't out in the market yet. Now, we told him that we were honest from the beginning. We also were honest in saying that this house will be on the market within 3 days, right? Because we're already prepped, ready to go for the most part. We told him where it was. We told him the price point. We told him the condition. And given all these things, even he understood it won't take long to sell the house, given the price we're going to put it at, et cetera, right?
There wouldn't be any issues.
That's right. There should not be any issues getting the house sold. And by the way, there wasn't, but he still took a leap of faith on it. So if you have a contingency in this market with multiple offers, what's a great question to ask the listing agent? That question, I'll tell you, is
I don't know, Kelly. You're the expert here.
That question is, here it is, to the listing agent, what is the contingency worth to your seller? Well, what do you mean by that, Kelly? Okay, Mr. Listing Agent, what I mean by that is, if all things were equal and we're all going to come in at 625, pick a number, doesn't matter, 625, same financing, same closing date, same terms, but mine had a contingency and the other ones did not, what would it be worth to take a gamble on that contingency? How much is that worth to the seller? Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so, well, in that situation, I'm in probably $5,000. Okay, $5,000, perfect. And that's how we ended up winning by $5,000 over.
Because you knew.
Bingo. Because that's what it was worth to the seller, right? Once you put it in quantitative terms like that to a human being, then they go, well, if you put it that way, yeah, I guess taking it out the market maybe for 5 to 10 days during the inspection period or whatever, or even a little longer on the contingency, if need be, is worth an extra $5,000. If it doesn't work out, the market's probably not going to go anywhere. I'll be able to sell it again like that, to somebody else. And therefore, it makes it worth it. You put a price tag on it, right? And then it becomes real, and then you get the deal. Now, in full disclosure, we did have to put a floor, on the appraisal contingency. So we didn't waive the appraisal completely, but we did say that we're going to take the responsibility on for every dollar we went above the asking price. So if it appraised for less than $599, we're not on the hook. Between $599 and $640, we're on the hook, right? That way the exposure is only $40,000 as opposed to $640,000, right? if you will. I mean, we're not going to get appraisal for $1 on a house, but you get my point, right? But we still have the contingency of his house selling and the loan contingency on the property. So pretty cool deal. And I would argue, I would submit to you today that a normal agent who doesn't ask those questions, who doesn't know how to build rapport, who doesn't take that step to communicate with the listing agent to build a trust, and then
wouldn't have gotten the deal.
Yeah, to be able to quantify, wouldn't have got the deal. And I know it's happening a lot right now in this marketplace. And it's not because the agents out there that aren't winning are bad whatsoever, or maybe not as smart, or they just may not have the experience, right? And experience or been coached or taught what to do. And so this is my opportunity to give back to the agent community in this situation. And guys, it's huge, because if you can do that, you will, your dollar per hour goes up, right? So, y'all know what that means, right? I mean, if you have to go out and show homes for 3 more times before they put another offer in and maybe get it, well, how many hours did you work additionally for the same house, the same paycheck, if you will, that you would have worked if you just would have gotten, done on that during the open house deal, right? So that goes up. Your clients don't get buyer fatigue, right? They get their house, they're happy, they're moving on, right? It's a win-win for everybody if you can understand how to speak and build rapport and do things. So again, experience matters. And that's why I want to bring value to this podcast on telling people how to do that. So hopefully that was helpful to everybody out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just real quick, that just made me think of a kind of a point too. I think that a lot of the time, and tell me if I'm wrong, but buyers agents are usually some of the like newer agents, or that's kind of one of the things that you do first is like kind of specialize in buyers, maybe before you move on to being like a more full-time listing agent or something like that. And I think it's interesting that right now in this market, we're still needing, not that I want to say buyers agents have it easier or anything like that, but there's usually a little bit less strategy that's involved maybe than a listing agent has. And I think that it's really important that right now, those buyers agents, they need to have that kind of experience too. Like it's cutthroat out there for buyers agents right now. So I think that that's just kind of an interesting flip, that with the market being the way that it is, that we're kind of seeing that too, as to where it's really important for buyers agents to have that kind of experience and be able to do that for their clients.
No doubt. And that's why it's so important to be, have a support system, a team behind you. Because again, if someone right now is newer and they are working with a buyer, that buyer can still have all the confidence in the world, knowing that they're going to have the best representation possible to get the house, because it's not just that potentially newer buyer's agent, right? They have a mentor. Correct. They have a mentor behind them who's going to be running point on the show with the negotiations and the contract submission and things of that nature, right? So that's huge. And I tell you what, some people don't know, the consumers, they don't know the person's new and experienced, but a lot of people can get wise to that, figure out and go, hold on here. And if you don't have some sort of backstop that you can have support you and help you through the process, that client may choose to go elsewhere. It might be more difficult to obtain and retain that client.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, we finished up this story today, but this is not all we have on getting your offer accepted. I think that we have probably one more episode next week that will kind of go a little bit more into some other strategies, because again, I know that this is so important right now. So until then, though, we're talking about a team. If you want to build your own team, Kelly, where can they go to learn exactly how to do that?
Step-by-step instructions, Elizabeth, right? Do it in the right order. BuildYourRealEstateTeam.com and download that sheet of paper on there, that document. They'll give you everything you need in succession.
And if you have any questions further about that or anything else, Kelly, where can they reach you?
Absolutely. My cell phone, text, call. I'm good with that. 480-227-2028, or my email at info@kellycookhomes.com.
All right. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, come back for more. We'll always have good stuff for you.
Awesome.
All right. Bye, Kelly.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.